the heart of Istanbul, where the Bosphorus whispers against the marble shores of Topkapi, behind golden gates and carved wooden screens, there once existed a world wrapped in silk and silence, the imperial harem of the Ottoman Empire. To the outside world, it was a realm of sensual mystery, a forbidden paradise where beauty reigned and the sultan's desires were law. But inside, beyond the perfume-drenched corridors and velvet cushions, the harem was far more than a place of pleasure. It was an empire within an empire, where women danced not only with grace but with power. The word harem means sacred or forbidden. It was not simply a place, but a concept. Hidden from the male gaze, the harem was a sanctuary of women, guarded by silence, tradition, and the cold steel of eunuch swords. Within these ornate walls lived hundreds of women, concubines, wives, daughters, servants, and at their center, the woman with the most dangerous beauty of all, the Valide Sultan, the Sultan's mother. In her jeweled hands, empires could rise and fall, but before power, there was the ritual of seduction. Imagine the fragrance of rosewater and amber drifting through mosaic-tiled halls, silk slippers gliding over polished marble, laughter like bells echoing through secret gardens. The girls came from across continents, Circassian, Georgian, Albanian, Sudanese, brought as tribute, purchased in distant markets, or taken as spoils of war. But once inside, their origins dissolved. They became creatures of the palace, trained in music, poetry, dance, and the language of the body. They were not just beautiful, they were crafted. At night, the harem shimmered like a dream. Lanterns of colored glass painted the corridors in gold and crimson. In the chambers, silks of Damascus brushed bare skin and silver trays carried sherbet and sugared almonds. The Sultan, godlike in his solitude, might summon a single girl with a silent gesture, and in that moment she stepped into history, not as a slave, but as a player in a game older than empires. Some mastered this game. Hürrem Sultan, known to Europeans as Roxelana, was once a captured girl from the steppes of Ukraine. Through wit, charm, and ferocious intelligence, she won the heart of Suleiman the Magnificent. She became his legal wife, a scandal at the time, and broke centuries of tradition. More than a lover, she was a diplomat, a builder, a strategist. She wrote letters to kings and orchestrated palace politics like a grand vizier in silk. Others followed. Hürrem Sultan, who ruled through sons and grandsons, her veiled shadow stretching across decades. These women understood that in a world where men ruled with swords, they would rule with whispers. But life inside the harem was not always indulgent. Beneath the perfumes and pearls, jealousy brewed like poison in fine crystal. Rivalries could erupt into plots, poisonings, and exile. For every favorite who rose to power, a dozen others vanished into silence. The corridors of the harem remembered them all, the hopeful, the forgotten, the broken. Guarding these silken secrets were the black eunuchs, men mutilated as boys and trained for absolute loyalty. Their leader, the Kızlar Ağası, was one of the most powerful figures in the empire. He held the keys to the harem, the ear of the sultan, and the confidence of the women. Neither fully inside nor out, he moved between worlds, the shadow among shadows. Outside, the empire waged war, governed provinces, and wrote treaties. Inside, in chambers scented with musk and draped in velvet, a different kind of empire pulsed. One ruled by silk, seduction, and strategy. But nothing lasts forever. As the 19th century dawned, the empire weakened. Reforms swept through the palace. Western influences began to dilute the traditions of the court. The harem, once alive with intrigue and luxury, began to fade. With the fall of the Ottoman throne in the early 20th century, the harem was dissolved, its golden gates closed, its voices silenced. Today, visitors walk through the ghostly halls of the Topkapi harem. They touch the walls that once felt the fingertips of queens, lovers, and dreamers. They see the baths, the gilded mirrors, the hidden passageways, but they cannot hear the songs sung in the moonlight, nor the sighs behind silk curtains, nor the footsteps of women who played the greatest game of all, not with swords, but with beauty, wit, and an unshakable will. The harem of Istanbul was never just a place of pleasure. It was a world of velvet power, veiled ambition, and the luxurious, dangerous art of being a woman in the center of the world's most powerful empire.